I thought I buried him years ago, not literally, though the temptation was there when he left me stranded on that cracked basketball court in the Bronx with a broken heart. Yet here he was, walking into the cafe where I worked, like a ghost made of sweat, rain, and second chances. Life has a funny way of slamming doors shut, only to leave the windows cracked just wide enough for the past to sneak in. Ethan Reyes, my old teammate, my first love, my biggest heartbreak. The sight of him sent a shock down my spine, the kind you get when you accidentally grab a live wire. My hands trembled so badly that I nearly spilled a tray of lattes onto a group of NYU students. 6 years since high school, 6 years since the nights of sneaking into the gym after practice, 6 years since that final kiss behind the bleachers, the one he pretended never happened. And now he was standing in front of me. "Caleb," he said softly, his voice both familiar and foreign, like a favorite song you hadn't heard in forever. "I came back for you." I laughed. Sharp, bitter, too loud for the small cafe. "You came back for me? What is this, some Netflix drama? You left without a word. Ethan, you don't get to just show up and press reset." But he didn't flinch. His dark eyes held mine with the same stubborn intensity he used to have when we fought for rebounds on the court. "I want to rewrite our story," he whispered. "Back in high school, we were unstoppable. Two guards, side by side, feeding off each other's energy. Everyone thought it was just chemistry on the court. They didn't know about the stolen glances in locker rooms, the way his hand would linger a second too long on my shoulder, or the way our arguments always ended with us pressed up against each other, neither willing to back down until one of us gave in with lips instead of words. But fear is cruel. Ethan was scouted, colleges watching his every move. He couldn't risk being outed, not in our neighborhood, not with the future dangling in front of him. So he chose the game over me. He chose silence, and I chose to hate him, or at least I tried to. Seeing him again dragged everything back. The ache, the hunger, the betrayal. Yet when he followed me out of the cafe that night, walking under the neon buzz of Manhattan, I couldn't tell him to leave, couldn't resist. "Let me explain," he said, his breath visible in the cold air. I was scared. I thought if people knew, I'd lose everything. The scouts, the scholarships, my shot. "And what about me?" My voice cracked, sharp as glass. "You lost me anyway." He stopped walking. For a moment, the city noise fell away, and it was just us again, like the rest of New York didn't exist. "That's the thing, Caleb. I never stopped wanting you. Not for a second." I hated how much I wanted to believe him. Weeks passed, and against my better judgment, we fell back into orbit. He'd drag me to the old courts at midnight, where the chain nets rattled in the wind, and we'd play one-on-one until our bodies ached. Sometimes we'd argue. Sometimes we'd laugh until tears blurred the city lights. And sometimes, when no one was watching, kiss me like he used to, hard and desperate, as if 6 years of silence could be erased in seconds. But the wounds weren't healed. They festered in the shadows. One night, after a brutal game, I shoved him back against the fence. "Why now, Ethan? Why not years ago, when I needed you most?" He grabbed my wrist, eyes burning. "Because back then I was a coward. But I'm not anymore. I don't care who knows. I don't care if I lose everything. I just can't lose you again." And I hated him for making me believe that love could survive being buried alive. Our story reached its breaking point when his college coach spotted us together, hand in hand outside Madison Square Garden. Rumors spread. Whispers followed him into locker rooms, onto the court. And for a terrifying moment, I thought history was repeating itself, that he'd choose his career again, choose the game over me. But then he stood at that press conference, microphones pointed like weapons, and said it out loud for the world to hear. "Yes," Ethan said firmly. "Caleb is my boyfriend, and I love him." The world held its breath. Mine stopped completely. We paid for it, of course. Headlines, online hate, a few so-called fans who spat his name with disgust. But we also found something else: support, unexpected and loud. Teammates who clapped him on the back. Strangers who sent messages saying thank you. A city that, despite its sharp edges, sometimes remembers how to hold you. That night, after everything, he found me on the rooftop of my apartment. New York glittered below us, endless and alive. He slipped his hand into mine, and for the first time in years I didn't pull away. "I can't rewrite the past," Ethan said softly. But I want to write the future with you. I rested my forehead against his, the city's heartbeat thundering around us. Then let's make it a story worth reading. And so, under the endless lights of New York, with the echoes of our past finally quiet, we began again. Because love, no matter how bruised or broken, still has the power to come back stronger if you're willing to fight for it. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.